back to Moto Matters. We got the Montesa done and out of the way. Today we're just gonna do a little maintenance to my 450 before we start our next big bike project. So look for that coming up soon. Right now, I'm just gonna lube the steering head, grease it up so it keeps the bike turning well. I've learned there's really two ways to do this. The right way and then the short and easy way. The right way is take the front wheel off, pull the forks out, pull the bars, take the whole triple clamp off so you can all look at it, inspect it, get it nice and clean. The lazy way is pull the number plate off, the bars off, then the top triple clamp, and just let the forks and the front wheel drop out, hang, grease it all up, lift it back up and put it together. I think I'm gonna try doing it the short and easy way, because that's the way I used to do it. Although, I'm not sure if I have enough strength, so that's gonna be the fun part. So let's see how it goes. The mechanics who taught me, two gentlemen named Tom. One went to MMI, the other was more or less self-trained and taught by Honda. One did everything the long way, took everything apart, very precise. The other, as little as possible. Interestingly enough, they both took about the same time, because the extra stress and headache of fighting it to not take the whole bike completely apart, to force your little fingers in there and get it, compared to taking it all apart so you can work on it easy. Both guys turned out about the same times as flat rate mechanics. Just different styles and different techniques. Both excellent mechanics though, and they did a wonderful job. So, I guess over the years I adopted the lazier way of fight and hassle by doing as little amount of disassembly as possible. We're gonna pull the bars, then I'm gonna clean these forks because they're kind of dirty. Here I am marking the handlebars so you can get an exact, precise location on reassembly. Now I have the right where I want them every time. Time to clean up some parts and make them look good, because clean parts are happy parts and everyone likes to have a nice looking bike. You also do not want to get any dirt in anything that you're reassembling, because that will definitely decrease life. Here I am showing you my massive muscles. Good thing I've been in the gym. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you go back and check it out. If everything goes well, the top clamp lifts right off. Clearly that's not the case, it's a little stuck, but you can see my great coordination and hammering skills. Here I'm marking it. This is just to give me a ballpark as to what kind of tension we need on it later. It will not line up if it's done properly. Nope, spanner's too big. Suspension, parts only. Okay, right now I'm cleaning the old dirty grease out of the bearing so we can pack it with fresh, clean grease. We not only greased the bearing, but we also greased the race, which too was clean. You want to make it nice and greasy in there for longevity's sake. And make sure you turn the bearing as you grease it, so you get the grease in between the needles. This is the difficult about doing it the lazy way, the lifting of the wheel and the forks and the holding the entire front end up. I can give me a fit for doing this, because you're not supposed to for moving parts, for tensions and torques. I don't care. I don't want my front wheel coming off while I'm going down the front straightaway. Fifth gear wide open. Here's the hard part of the lazy way. Getting everything lined back up and in. We're good to go, we got her. Now torquing it down. You saw that I marked it. That's not a real mark, you can't just put it back to the same spot and have it be good. The torque value will not be correct. You have to tighten this. There's a torque spec on it, but as you saw, I don't have a spanner wrench. And it's not really the best way to do it anyway. Fancy guys will use a fish scale on the end of the handlebar. 4 to 7 pounds of tug before the bars move. They also go a little tighter for more steering stability, because loose you'll get all kinds of front end chatter. So, it'll wear out bearings faster, but it's worth it for performance. Ideally, with the front wheel off the ground, the handlebars should be able to be caught and not fall. If they fall on their own under their own weight, this isn't tight enough, it's too loose. We also don't want it too tight that it grinds. There's just a sweet spot when the bars will hold themselves at an angle and the front wheel won't fall. And also note, after you tighten this down and you put the top triple clamp down on that other nut, that increases torque. So you don't want to go too high here, because the other torque will add a foot or 2 pounds of pressure here. But we'll get her here, snug it up tight, get her right where we want her, and all set and ready to go. Here I'm checking that angle of that tension. You'll also notice my index finger standing straight out. That's not because I don't have control of my index finger. That's because I want to see if my therapist is watching this. What you want to make sure is that all your wires and cables are on the right side of the triple clamp before you put it back on. We'll make that mistake once and learn to never do it again, because then you have to take it all apart and redo it all. So our one wire's behind, the rest are in front. Now we can put the triple clamp on and the bars back. If I were stronger, I could push it on, but I'm not. So here we are. Solid, baby. Here I am measuring fork height to make sure they're both the exact same height. Again, a performance issue. And you don't do this when you're not supposed to. But I always do. I started doing the over tighten back when I had a KTM because those forks always slid up in the triple tree. So you lose performance if it's too tight. The fork cannot, the inner parts can't move at the rate they're supposed to. That's why you need these torque perfect. But I always err on the side of too tight rather than too loose. Alright, your bike comes with clamps, reusable zip ties. I do not use those for a very specific reason. And this I learned as a pro trick. Those zip ties, if you crash, will rip your wires and cables and possibly cause a DNF. But if you use electrical tape, it will flex and tear and stretch as you crash, thus keeping the cables and wires intact. So I go 3 times around with electrical tape and throw those cable ties in the garbage can. Well, that's a wrap on that. Again, that's the quicker, easier way to go. You want to do a better job, just take apart more, let you clean more. That's really it. And then you don't have to fight it when you put it back together. Hope you learned it. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe.